You might as well listen to me stuff my face because I'm still eating my dinner. My God. The Hunters Indiana Pacers versus the OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder. Who's gonna take the champion? Who is going to be the champions? I just want you to know that I may or may not be wearing pants. Yo, Mark, peace, love, happiness, wealth, and health. God, I hope you're having a good time watching that game. I'm not really into basketball like that, unfortunately, but yeah, man, I really hope that it's an intense game. Who are you rooting for? Thunder, or are you rooting for the Pacers? Thank you. Singular turtlet, man. Oh my God, you're funny as hell. Man, I'm just gonna be here for a little bit. Not for too long. I just want to see what's happening in on futures. Crude oil spiking up, almost $77 a barrel. Remember the first time it spiked up almost two weeks ago? I think it's been 2 weeks already since the first strikes initiated by Israel to Iran, and then crude oil spiked. Could be. It could be the case. Just realized the music, it's a little bit high. I have to lower the music a little bit. I'm sure you're hearing the music more than me. Just want to go ahead and I'll switch in a few moments. How's everything though? Oh, you're a Lakers fan, yeah, because you're from Cali. You got to represent your home team all day, every day. Just trying to get this done, this dinner done here. Nice AI graphics, huh? I know it's not proper, but you know you're gonna hear me with my mouth full again. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a look at. Oh wait, I have to get the chat out. Hold on, I have to move the chat to the side. Can't forget about that. Just put you right here. Put you guys here on the side. Show the fam here chatting on the side of the screen. You're gonna hear my parents and my family talking. You know their loud self. Hispanic households. You know. So what do we have here, huh? We pretty much guessed it. You know that when the U.S. Sent strikes to Iran and those nuclear facilities, uh, you already knew that crude oil was to jump a lot, and it's up almost 2.5%. But from the initial jump when futures opened, this thing jumped at like 4%, reaching almost at it actually did reach $77.12. Wow. Oh, hi, mom and dad. Somebody says hi, mom and dad. No, just the chat. Just the chat. Yeah, they say hi back. Oh man. All right, the 24-hour markets. I forgot those are open right now since 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're gonna see where the SPY is trading and other stocks that follow the indexes and also commodities. Have you been going to Williams' channel a lot? Because I haven't been going on there. I rarely go on there. Look at that, though. Look at this. It's just slowly consolidating, just wondering what direction it's going to pick. What I actually wanted to do originally was to go back and look into getting into one of these. I would put, well, not financial advice, but I put here the category oil squeeze. And in that category, it's usually the oil stocks that we've been discussing for ages, like INDO, which I'm sure it's gonna pop if oil does maintain and stay above 76 and up. You're gonna see Indo pop. You're gonna see IMPP move. Not as much. But you're probably going to see TPET, which has been seeing just a little bit more volume than usual. And if you can see here on the four-hour chart, you see ever since the start of the conflict, there had been a lot of volume pouring in because of the spike in crude oil, and you can see it pretty much in all of the stocks here. Like, look at that. It looks like a big old pennant. Big old flag. We're just waiting to pop one more time. And then from here, and they'll probably shoot up to like $6.50 to $7 a share. Pre-market opens. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and check to see what the short interest of Indo is. You know what's funny? Actually, it's kind of sad, but they usually just tune into Williams' stream just for Ham. They want to hear from Ham. 99.8% of the time through William's stream. After that, it's just like, okay, well, that's done. We can go back to doing our regular things, and then it's just William going on a rant or just talking something else that probably people just don't want to hear about, because technically he's supposed to be a stock channel. He's supposed to be going over stocks that he goes over, and like, Finger, G-Bucks, Railtown, Nixie, whatever he goes over, and just focus on that. But he just goes too deep on the other things that, sometimes it's just a little bit too sensitive of topics to discuss on YouTube, especially if it's something that could, theoretically demonetize him. And that's why I don't do it. You imagine if I started having Ham over onto my stream and be like, oh, here's a segment. This is a line of old trades here, featuring the Lion and Ham segment for like 10 minutes, and discussing on the latest on certain things, and then that's pretty much it. And he can go on and going on with his business. Should be funny, right? Let's see. There's not a lot of short interest. Short interest ratio at 0.05 days to cover. Short interest of 470,914 shares, and a short interest percentage of the float of just only 5.21%. You have the off exchange short volume of 1,011,490 shares, and the off exchange short volume ratio of 54.39%, which is including the dark pool volume. Ham and Lion rant of the day, dude. That would be really funny. But that would help me out technically. But it would be very informative. It would be a lot more informative for the channel and for everybody else that's wanting to know specific updates on specific tickers that they've been following, with the exception of not being able to pump any stocks, which is what this channel is not about. This is for educational, research, and entertainment purposes, and it's just strongly and strictly based on opinion and what we see on the internet, on the charts, and just to see what's the hottest stock that's about to pop next, and not the usual stocks that barely even move a muscle, or is just so darn suppressed and controlled by major institutions that just want to play around with retail and just keep the stock stagnant to where people just are questioning every single day when, how, and where, and what time, and when margin calls, when Lambo, and all this stuff. We just have to really think about it realistically. And when things really start to hit the fan, and we all know this because a lot of people have been talking about that. And Nana Ape, good evening to you. You're awake, huh? Wait, did you take a nap earlier? What's going on with you, Nana? Shout out to you, Nana Ape, on the chat. Thank you for being here. But yeah, maybe I could just do that. Maybe I can go ahead and make something happen and ask Ham if he wants to come into my stream. Can't see. Can't see. No puedo ver nada. Give me 1 second. But how's everything, Nana? How you doing? Yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. But I'm just stating facts, and I'm just being realistic here. Um, we just got to see it for how it is, and how things work in the market, and how they're able to manipulate certain stocks, and take control where we can't really do much. But either you invest in it, you dollar cost average into it, build your position, keep building until you wait patiently enough to when something happens, and it all correlates to the stock being heavily shorted, and then once the shorts are screwed and they have to pay the piper, get margin called, markets crash, they have to cover, and so there you would have your theoretical squeezes, in my opinion, of course. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I may not be like other people, I'm just trying to be me, and just just want to point things out, and we're just here to learn from all these things and all these events and all these things that transpire. I mean, like, whatever happens, like what's going on right now this week. I mean, it's going to affect certain sectors, and if you really follow where the money is going, where you really follow all of these events, and then when you know what's gonna pop, what's not gonna pop and drop, then you take the initiative and you go for it and you make that money. Simple as that. I love you too, brother. It's always good to see you, Mark. Peace, love, happiness, health, and wealth. Let me know how that game goes, man. Let me know who wins, but if I probably would have to say OKC. Oh. Peace out. Peace out, brother. So, what have you been hearing so far, Nana? Tell me about what you've been hearing, and how's everything? SQQQ, yes. In terms of how futures opened today. Here you can see oil once again as it's consolidating and seeing if it's actually going to hold above 75. And if it bounces from there and it continues to move up into tomorrow pre-market, I might just consider getting into one of these, oil stocks for a good swing. If we look at gold was up initially when futures opened up at 6 p.m. Eastern time, but it's actually falling back down. It's almost down 0.5%. So we don't know what that's all about. Silver also coming down just a little tiny bit. Market dropping. So yeah, you see silver here. Um, also a little bit controlled on the price action, but it's still trying to still stay above 36 per ounce. Now futures, you have the dollar here on a little bit of a rise. Um, And that is, let me just review this real quick here. The latest news: the U.S. dollar, strengthening after the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. So if we can read this together, it says that the dollar strengthens against most other G10 and Asian currencies in the morning session after the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend. The U.S. dollar lifts because the USD is a safe haven and the U.S. is a net energy exporter. CBA's Global Economic and Markets Research Team says in a note how high the USD lifts is now in the hands of political and military leaders in the U.S., Israel, and Iran. The ICE USD index is up 0.4% to 99.06. The USD to the Korean won adds 0.7% to 1,383, and the Australian dollar to the USD falls 0.4% to 0.64, according to FactSet data. All right. If we take a look at the SPY futures, ES1, S&P 500 E-mini futures, you can see that there was an initial gap down, and then from there, it picked up right back up, and now it's just consolidating here. Last time, Friday's close on the SPY was at 594.28, with the after market hours closing price of 595.33. So if this was the case for the SPY futures, then that means that the SPY literally dropped from 595 all the way down to probably maybe 592, 593. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't really seen it yet. So we're gonna check to see what it's doing on Webull, because on Webull the 24-hour trading session is going on right now, and it usually opens Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time until the end of the week on Friday. So not only that, but you also have the NASDAQ doing the same algos, or pretty much following each other, and then you have the Russell down zero, same thing, the Russell and the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index with a big red candle and just pretty much doing the same thing and consolidating. Bitcoin, on the other hand, here over the weekend had been trending down, where it actually ended up breaking below 100,000 to as low as I'll tell you right now, Bitcoin reaching a low of $98,242.47 per Bitcoin as of 4:15 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, 1600 hour. I think that's 4:15 p.m. But it pretty much rebounded and recovered to where Bitcoin is now back over 100,000 and reaching as high as 101,629. So let's go ahead and check out what's happening to, let's see. Oh, okay. Just quickly, let me see. INDO. 150,000 short shares available as of 2 days ago. 106.70% cost to borrow fee. All right. Let me go ahead and check for you. Oh. So you see the gap down that we were just looking at with the S&P 500 mini futures? This is the same gap down that just transpired. But look, this is GameStop dropping from 23.49 all the way down to as low as 22.69. Then recovering and going back up to $23 right now, which looks like to me that it's going for like a cup and handle. You got the cup here, you got this little handle, and trying to recover and try to break over back 23.05, 23.10. We'll see if that's the case, but you already know that in this case, if futures begin to drop back down, I believe unfortunately GME could follow suit and go back down to these lower levels, but we'll see what happens. Unless somebody wants to come back and deliver the news, or maybe come back and give a special appearance, and maybe spike GME up and rocket into outer space. I don't know. But what are the odds, right? So, what are the odds? There you go. Two-wheel pursuits. Wolf. Man, conflicted. Yeah, man. This is tough. But yeah, two-wheel pursuits. Welcome back. Welcome back. And yes. Yeah, I just took a look at that right now. It was like the first thing on the list, and it's down negative 10.61%. So it's back down to 80 cents. Let's see. What is the latest? What is the latest on Wolf Speed? Sing it. Quiet zone. Da-na-na. I swear it takes so long to just wait, is this? Wait, what is this? Renaissance? Timing, amount of restructuring loss have not been determined at this time. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I want to know what this is all about. Oh, okay. Is this what this is? Oh, no. Okay. What? Who's? Oh my god. Man, what the hell? Are you serious? So, Wolfspeed and Renaissance Electronics Corporation announces expected loss resulting from signing restructuring support agreement with Wolfspeed. What the hell, man? Renaissance Electronics Corporation, which is a premier supplier of advanced semiconductor solutions, today announced that it has entered into a restructuring support agreement with Wolfspeed and its principal creditors for the financial restructuring of Wolfspeed. As a result, Renaissance expects to record a loss as described below. So the details. As announced in July of 2023, Renaissance entered into the silicon carbide wafer supply agreement with Wolfspeed, and through Renaissance, wholly owned subsidiary in the United States, it provided a deposit of $2 billion, approximately 292 billion yen, to Wolfspeed. In October 2024, Renaissance and Wolfspeed amended their agreement and increased the outstanding principal amount of the deposit to $2.062 billion, approximately 301.1 billion yen. Subsequently, Wolfspeed has experienced financial challenges. On May 8, 2025, during its quarterly earnings call, Wolfspeed disclosed that to achieve its stated goal of strengthening its balance sheet, it may implement a transaction through an in-court solution. Due to Wolfspeed's contemplation of an in-court option, Wolfspeed included required going concern language in the footnotes to its financial statements for the quarterly period ending March 30th, 2025. In response to this situation, Renaissance has been engaging in discussions with Wolfspeed and today entered into the restructuring support agreement among Wolfspeed and its principal creditors, pursuant to which Renaissance agreed to, among other things, convert the deposit of $2.062 billion into convertible notes, common stock, and warrants issued by Wolfspeed as follows. Let me just see something real quick. I might have to run this with ChatGPT here. Not financial advice, of course. Okay. I hope that this works. Wait, did I get this part? Hold on. Did I get this part? Uh-oh, there goes the bird. Oh, I can't even upload anymore. Jeez, okay. This is the update for today on Wolf. Oh my god. Huh. Let's see. Wolfspeed, huh. Let's see. Frick. The bird is going crazy. Alright, so thanks for sharing the update. Here's a breakdown of the June 22, 2025 announcement regarding Wolfspeed. Huh. Okay, Renaissance has entered into a RSA with Wolfspeed and its creditors. So the financial breakdown, the original deal, which we just discussed, July 2023, Renaissance entering a silicon carbide wafer supply agreement with Wolfspeed, paid a $2 billion deposit, amended in 2024 of October, increased the deposit to $2.062 billion. Recent update in June, Wolfspeed has financial difficulties, then disclosed potential in-court solutions and added going concerns warnings to filings as of March 30th, 2025. Under the RSA, the $2.062 billion deposit will now be converted into convertible notes, common stock, and warrants. And this restructuring essentially converts Renaissance loan into equity-like securities, meaning that Renaissance could take on higher risk, and Renaissance recognizes a loss upfront on its balance sheet. Now, according to ChatGPT here, which, of course, ChatGPT can make mistakes, so take it with a grain of salt. Market impact and implications for the Wolf stock. In the short term, likely to increase volatility and downward pressure on Wolf due to the admission of financial distress. The medium term is if the restructuring allows Wolfspeed to stabilize, it could provide a path to recovery, but dilution from equity issuance and convertible notes is a concern. And creditors are now more involved, suggesting deeper restructuring actions ahead and potential for M&A rumors or strategic investments to arise in the near future. Now, what to watch next for Wolfspeed? Wolfspeed's next earnings call or an SEC filing, which includes the 10Q filing and restructuring terms. Number 2, any sign of asset sales or government grants, especially via the CHIPS Act. Number 3, volume spikes and short interest, which could attract speculative traders. And Renaissance balance sheet adjustments and the reaction in Japanese markets. Interesting. Are you finally done with kids? They put them down to bed? How you doing, Matt? So so right now currently, um, yeah, they unloaded off on these shares as soon as it opened here. It did. You know what's funny? It did jump to 95 cents at one point, and then the sell-off with the news coming in just in the nick of time. These guys are just so freaking smart. And then all of a sudden, this thing drops from 95 cents all the way down to 74 cents in like 25 minutes. This whoever this was here dumped 97,092 shares at 83, almost 84 cents a share. That's wild. You see some buybacks here, but as of right now, it's just consolidating. Unless now, don't get me wrong. I mean, because it the same thing happened with futures, if you noticed, as to where futures had a gap down and then had a recovery. I don't know if you've noticed that. I'm not too sure how much it correlates with that, but you could see it right here. I show you the SPY on the 5-minute chart. Took a huge gap down. Markets just dropped, then consolidated, and now it's trying to recover and trying to break back over, you know, 592.50 and so on, to then try to fill up this gap from 592.65 to as high as 595.15. But what are the odds? We don't know what's going to happen next, especially with the conflict that's going on in the Middle East. So we're just trying to see like how this will all transpire. If the sell-off will continue into overnight, into pre-market, maybe this will increase the short interest. And I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's very interesting. Give me 1 second, because I need to clean off my plate. But I don't know. Talk amongst yourselves for a bit. Big JR, what's up, fam? Crazy times that we are living in, indeed, man. What do you think about oil? What do you think about? What are you excited about, man? What plays are you excited about for this week? On that cycle, I don't know, man. Oh, Let me go. Let me check what real quick. Hold on. Let me set up. Oh, so it is pulling back a little bit. So hiccup, and then and then it's dropping back down. Okay. Um, oil will explode over the next 6 months. If that's the case, if that is the case, let me see. Let's see, because look at this. I mean, like, the way that this is trending right now, I mean, it definitely looks like, you know, it has the capabilities of reaching even over 80 right now, you know? Probably within the next couple of weeks. Um, hmm. Hmm. So if that's the case, I mean, well, actually, let me check. Let's see, the 24-hour markets. Okay, look, Patterson UTI, not a urinary tract infection, but UTI energy, up 7.72%. Then you have Murphy Oil, MUR, also with a jump right there from 25.13 to 26.52. Remember we were discussing on ChatGPT that energy and defense stocks was going to jump. It was right, because you have Kratos Defense and Security Solutions up 6.24%. Big jump here from 43.20. So that is up. Then you have Diamondback Energy, ticker symbol FANG, up from 149.20 to 158. Actually 161.88 on the high there. From that move to the upside in futures. Then you have Northrop Grumman up 5.69%, up to 526 from 499. That's a big jump there. NOG, Northern Oil and Gas, up 5.5%. NOG. Then you have Devon Energy Corp, which is one of the tickers I believe I have up there on the list. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, right here. And on the 5-minute, you could see it had a huge rebound there from as low as, was that 33.76? So you have that. Now up here, 36 bucks. Oh, you have ProShares K1 free crude oil ETF. I did not see this, but that's up a couple of percent. Expand Energy up almost 5%. Centrus Energy. There's a lot of energy stocks here that I've never even seen before. Oh, you have Root. I know you guys heard of Root before. That's up from 138.48 to 144.94. Schlumberger up 4.49%. The stock that that you've talked about here too as well. Two-wheel pursuits. Had a family member here working in this company before, so it's up. What else? Yeah. Oh, you have Oxy. Oxy's up from 45.75 to 47 bucks. Consolidating right now currently. So yeah. It's wild. Brother-in-law used to work for SLB. Wait a minute. Your brother-in-law used to work for SLB too? Oh shoot. So wait. Two-wheel pursuits. I think you said something about that too. Who was it that worked for that company? What a coincidence. Schlumberger is a French company. And I'm here just calling it a Schlumberger. Don't be surprised, Matt, if Two Wheel Pursuit's dad was your brother-in-law's executive, working in the same site. It's a small world after all. But it seems to be a very, very big company, though, in general. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, wow. So, I just randomly looked at Tesla right now. It's up barely a percent right now in the green. But the news that just came out was that Musk saying that robotaxi is to launch in Austin, Texas on Sunday afternoon, which had just happened. Okay. So that happened today. Those big spike to 337 and dropped to 315. That's crazy. And then it recovered back to 326, 327 to 324. Wow. It's like it never jumped before. I would love to see Tesla just, I'm sorry, but you know, kind of want Tesla to dump. I want Tesla to dump so hard. I mean, you can clearly see it here on this daily chart too. I mean, it's pretty much weakening. It's consolidating, but like overall, like it looks like the MACD just wants to fall off and reject. If I'm right about that, then we'll probably see major sell-offs. Probably see this back under 300 within the next month. Back to 200 and change. Where the worst that this could drop to is, yeah. Why do I have so many drawings here? Look at this. Got so many lines here. This is insane. Let's see. The last bottom was somewhere around April, the end of April of last year, when it was at about $141, I think. Or let's see. Oh, $138, I think. But that definitely would have been a nice swing, dude. If we weren't really thinking about politics or anything like that at all, and just trading Tesla for what it is, man, this would have been a awesome swing, a year swing. Well, not really a year, but you know, from the middle of April of 2024 to like the technically the all-time high at 488.54. December 18. So 8 months swinging it would have made so much. If it weren't for catalysts, it'd be toast. Yeah. But I don't know about robot taxis in general. I just don't think that there. I don't know, man. I'm not really a big fan of that. And if so, like, and if you know the decline does continue on Tesla, I think there will be more eyes on other electric vehicle companies like perhaps Lucid and Rivian. I mean, what do you guys think of those two companies, in your opinion? Because I feel like Lucid still, like I kind of want to see Lucid explode. It's been shorted so much during the past couple of years. Ever since it had reached that high of 57.50. No, as a matter of fact, no, 64.86. It's never gone through any reverse stock split. like Mullen. Um, by the way, look, this looks like what Tesla is doing. If you noticed. So if I look, so if we take a look back at the daily on Lucid, I mean on Tesla, it, it looks just like it, like that algorithm. Watch, look. Let me go back to Lucid. All right, just take a photographic memory of this chart here, and then look at Lucid back when back at this point here. It looks exactly like it. And then after that, it just kept dumping and dumping. So I wonder if that's the same fate for Tesla. Besides, all the news that's coming in for Tesla. It would be funny if all the sell-offs from Tesla are investors getting out, and then eventually, like, as Lucid is theoretically like finding a bottom here, and you could see it found a couple of bottoms back in mid-November of last year, then here again in March of this year, and then here around the beginning of June throughout this week. And it looks like it wants to. Looks like a double bottom. What do you think, guys? Looks like a double bottom to me. Two ass cheeks. About to get clapped. About to go bounce right back over to 250. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You made money on Lucid? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, you're gonna wanna take advantage though, of course, if Tesla ever decides to dump once again and go through its bearish cycle until the end of the bearish cycle, where you decide, based on your research, of course, to get in at the next bottom. Let me see. Oh, I was pissed. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me catch up to you guys. The chat. Sales for Pacific Offshore Division. Oh, okay. Nana says my brother was a boss at Northward Grunt. Oh, okay. All right. I think Grunthorpe. Was it Grunthorpe? North. I had it. Hold on. It was Northrop Grumman. Okay, Northrop Grumman. There you go. And it's a pretty expensive stock. Look at that. It closed at 497 Friday, and this thing broke out and went as high as 524 right now. Yeah, look at that. Sheesh. And so if your brother is still holding on some stock for that company, he's pretty well off. Matt is like, I was pissed. He quit after a year. He could have stuck it out for another year or two and paid off his college. Damn. What about pension and all that, Matt? All the benefits. Sheesh. Like just thinking about the companies that offer you their own stock, and over time, like, they're growing, and so is your portfolio, because your 401k keeps investing into the company. I had the same thing happen when I was working with Starbucks, and I had a what was that thing called? Stock something. Like I was literally getting like there was money being taken out on my check, and it was going into Starbucks. So over time, and if I didn't get rid of it and of my 401k into Starbucks, I probably would have been well off too. I guess technically I was investing in the market back in 2017, but I didn't really know anything at all. Um, I think Tesla's still a great stock. Lion, can your parents come on the stream to do a William impression? No, I don't even know. They've seen who William is, but they have no idea who how he sounds like or how they can even make an impression of him. Yepers, big time defense contractor. War means squeeze. Nana says top secret stuff wouldn't tell me anything. Of course, I mean that's classified information. I mean, he would have just told you, yeah, like, and get into the stock, because it's gonna grow. Then I'm pretty sure not Nana, you would have been you would have been well off. Getting rich with Northrop Grumman. I can't even say that name now. It's a tongue twister. Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman. Nom, 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 nom. I feel like going back to Starbucks and working with them just to get the stock back. God. Sorry. Smart money is at the table on Wolf. Wolf man. Please, 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 please. Ugh. Damn, man, but 80 cents? I mean, I wonder, but I think it's still holding off. So I'm just like thinking to myself, like, damn, what's gonna be the next move? But Lucid on the you see Spy is trying to like fill the gap back up again. Gosh darn it. Thank you, Nana. Thank you. So what? When is the next catalyst going to? Huh. Okay, this is random. So I just asked ChatGPT, when is the next catalyst going to happen? I'm pretty sure we read this over and over before, but it says here that, and again, this is just speculation, so just do your own research if possible. And it says, given the situation with Wolfspeed and the Renaissance restructuring agreement, here are the next likely catalysts and their estimated timelines. So number one, Wolfspeed's next earnings report, which is estimated date in early August of 2025 based on historical quarterly cycles. And the catalyst will be confirmation of the balance sheet restructuring, revenue trajectory, and any updates on CHIPS Act funding or new contracts. And number two here, the finalization of the restructuring agreement, which the estimated timing gives it about the next 30 to 60 days by late July to mid-August of 2025. The catalyst would be the execution of terms from the RSA, including issuance of convertible notes, equity, and warrants to Renaissance, disclosures via the AK filing, the 10K, or press releases, and clarity on dilution levels and Wolfspeed's post-deal capitalization. Number three is the court involvement or prepackaged bankruptcy if triggered. Possible timing, late third quarter of 2025, only if in-court solution becomes necessary. And the catalyst, if financial condition worsens, in-court filing could be pursued. It would involve judge-approved reorganization, and debt holders may receive equity in exchange for claims. Then at number four, you got the CHIPS Act and U.S. federal grants, and the timing could be any time from the third quarter to fourth quarter of 2025. And the catalyst would be if Wolfspeed secures the CHIPS Act funding, which is up to $1 billion that was in discussion previously. This would dramatically improve the balance sheet and sentiment. And number five, short interest and technical setup. The current ongoing catalyst, Wolf has over 20% short interest. I can just go back and check that and see if it's correct. Could be wrong. Like I said, ChatGPT can make mistakes. And currently the short interest percentage of the float is at 47.44%. So that's more than double of what ChatGPT has right here. And 2.13 days to cover the short interest ratio. As of an hour ago, actually, it was posted that there were 300,000 short shares available, and the cost to borrow jumped up a little bit here from 38.38% to now 40.20%. But like I had talked about recently, once you start seeing the cost to borrow spike up, double, 3 times, get into the triple digits, kind of like what happened to Finger, when the days to cover started going down, and the short shares available started to run out, and the cost to borrow started spiking up like crazy, going into the hundreds, 200s. Then you would know from there, those indicators would be that there would be a lot of pressure for the shorts, making it expensive for them to borrow, and therefore things will get a lot more spicy for the stock. And what if that same scenario happened to Wolf, just like it did with Finger? I know it's 2 different companies and 2 different scenarios, but I mean, that would be pretty crazy. It would be like this would be the situation for Wolf. Like, you would have to sell off here, then you would have a bit of consolidation until those catalysts come into play, in my opinion, in theory, of course. All right, not that it would actually happen, but if this would be the case, then then the timeline would play out alongside with the chart, and then you would start to see action happen within the stock. A surge in volume, more and more people gaining traction towards the stock, and all of a sudden now you see a whole bunch of retail just like hopping in and trying to make things happen, and then screw the shorts, hypothetically, until things start to happen. And major catalysts, short interest, all of the above, whatever you can think of, that would be pretty cool to see. And as we're looking at Finger, actually, this pretty much had a long time of selling off ever since the big run here that happened middle of April, where finger was trading at around 123, 125, and reached as high as 554 before coming back down and getting shorted and sold off. P&D, pretty much, and maybe if it does continue, then we probably would look at 180 to be the next level of support for a bounce and before things start to recover from here. What is the situation with finger in the short interest, you may ask? Well, right now, the short interest ratio for finger did go up a little bit more, up to 4.77 days to cover. And the short interest percentage of the float is really low, barely anything, at 3.25%. Compared to Wolf, which is 47.44%. And you also do have 300,000 short shares available to borrow. And the cost to borrow is at 26.60%. What up, Fishy? What's up? What it do? How was your weekend, bro? What'd you get to do for the weekend, Fishy? Did you get to fish? Did you catch some trout? Did you catch some bass? Some salmon? What's up, man? I'm not too sure what's the latest in terms of finger, but you can clearly see, pretty much how this has been trading on a daily basis, how it looks like on the larger time frame, which doesn't look pretty at all, because what comes up must come back down, and then probably ready for another cycle. Waiting for the end of this bearish cycle to see where the bottom meets and where it will start to rebound, which kind of looks like it's a little bit close. But, like I said, like I mentioned as a prediction, if it does retest and bounce somewhere around previous support levels at 180 and above, then maybe that could be another, in theory, a buy dipping opportunity. A bounce from here and getting into, I don't know, $2 calls for further outdated expirations. So if we go and look back at finger on the, how do you call it? Where is finger? Here's finger. If you look at it on the options chain, the next one coming up is the July 18th, 2025 expiration. And I'm pretty sure that from here, maybe, I don't know, there's no bid, but there could be some volume coming in for these contracts because it's a lot more closer in the money. And we might see some open interest, so more contracts being opened up, more volume pouring in. These spreads will probably regulate. And not only these, but also these contracts will probably start moving too. And the August 15 expiration date, November, there's not much volume activity. But the January 16, 2026 is, of course, there would be some activity, some, nothing crazy. If you look back at Wolf, you can see there. Actually, hear me out. So, this week's expiration date of June 27th. There is a lot of volume here that came in before market close on Friday, and these $1 contracts, I've seen a volume of 4,479 with an open interest of 1,354. I'm not sure if that's gonna actually move. You are seeing a lot of implied volatility for these contracts. Could be really volatile for sure. In this case, of course, as you know, I feel like it's a little risky. But there is a lot more volume here on the July 18th contracts. Not financial advice, but A lot of volume for the $2 straight calls. I wonder why that is. It could mean something. Who knows? Um, let's see. Could be. Could be something. Could be something. But as we're speaking, I mean, it is holding off, and it's not selling off anymore. So maybe they're just some people closing out, selling off their positions, and then new investors just trying to buy it back up. Who knows? Let me see. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat right now. Shout out Publix, best grocery store in Florida. What's Publix is let me see. Publix. Where's the stock for this? Did they not have a stock for that, or Interesting. Yeah, if we do see some volume returning into the buy side, then all is not lost. There could be a glimpse of hope, and perhaps, with a lot of manifestation and prayer for things to start, moving into the right direction, and hopefully things happen for the best. But of course, always manage your risks, just in case. No matter what, you do not want to be left to hope, holding an empty bag. It's better to just, not let your position go to zero, But yeah. Only employees can buy Publix. Oh, so it's private. Oh, ESOP. Oh, what the hell? I can't find it. Oh, privately owned. Damn it, man. Oh wait, wait a minute. So if it's privately owned, then nobody can't really discuss the price of Publix and how much it costs per share. Would that be illegal? Oh, you're welcome to Wheel Pursuits. Fishy says, I chilled. We had a barbecue at the family business this weekend for the customers. My mother-in-law is closing up shop and retiring the end of this month. Congratulations to your mother-in-law's retirement coming up soon. And hopefully she'll be able to do the things that she loves to do. Yeah, I couldn't see it, Matt. It's not showing up on. It's actually not showing up on here, fortunately. Oh, what am I doing? I'm like reading right now. I'm looking at the letters like if it was a ticker symbol. Employee stock option plan. Okay, got it. But no idea whether if they're gonna go public maybe soon or maybe next year. Oh, okay. I could probably guarantee you that Publix is probably like a somewhere between $50 to $100 a share. Because it's been around for a very long time, so I wouldn't be surprised. This looks like a descending triangle. Let me see something. If I put it like this, maybe? No. Like that? No? No? Here? Maybe a wedge? Maybe it's a wedge. Let me see. This could be a wedge. Okay. Okay, this could be a descending wedgie. Hmm. Oh, 2020. 19. Um, actually, it could. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm here looking at. Well, this is the. Wait, hold on. Oh, what am I doing? This is the daily right here. This is the end of this candle. I mean, I guess we'll put it here. I mean, it's kind of considered like a wedge, but when I look at this indicator here, what's it called again? Oh, the RSI Strength and Consolidation Zones by Zierman. He's got great indicators, man. But I mean, compared to like what happened before, let me see. Where was the actual bottom for this? Oh, okay. So you see here, for example, right when finger dropped from like two and change all the way down to like 103, and then the rest of the time from there ranging, and then it had this had dipped down, then bounced off 30 level on that RSI, and come climbing up here from there, leading to that uptrend around March of 2025. So it looks something like this. March 2025 around here, came back down here, and then that's when you had the big spike afterwards. It led to all of this momentum here driving up all the way to a stop until it got broken, and then came all the way back down for a P and D. And now it's like really fat and red at the bottom, very bottom here. Jeez, like it has to like rebound at some point here, and then start the whole process all over again. And that's what I'm seeing here. Even the MACD, like literally meeting up with this level here back in July 2024. And you could see here clearly like the momentum have been climbing back up on this MACD, this histogram. So all it needs to do is to see that that line to start rebounding and cross back over for a bullish divergence, in my opinion. So, like I said, it could rebound. It could at any point, maybe in the next few weeks, see this try to come back up, and then we still have this gap technically for finger. We still have this gap. And that is somewhere between 324 and 353. Like it doesn't have to be exactly. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I want to say somewhere between 324 and 354, around that range. That's where the gap has to be filled. And again, it might take a while for this to rebound, and maybe it'll maybe it'll rebound. Moistly, oh my god, is that you again? He's hopping into your next account. Surprise texture? Hello, I am intrigued to hear about this nice stock called Finger. It reminds me of college. No. Moistly, come on. Could you imagine William saying that in his voice? Hello. I am intrigued to hear about this nice stock called Finger. It reminds me of college. Once upon a time, I went to college. Really, I did. And all I could think about is finger. And where the finger would go and where it would travel, where it would curve. And I was pretty excited. I even met a girl. I once had a girlfriend in college, really, I did. And all we could talk about was finger and how there were
uh, all sorts of ways where you could have all the motion in finger. And I completely thought about it, and I'm like, whoa, well, maybe we could just create a company called Finger Motion. And every time I think about this stock, I think about her, not financial advice. But now all the bulls have run away from Finger, and now they're in GJYL. And GTII continues to be a piece of shit stock. I miss Lucky. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good evening. Good evening. Oh my god. Oh, great. And oh boy, so yeah, I guess like the moral of the story is, just wait it out for a little bit more. Hopefully, we'll see a rebound in the next week or so. Hopefully, things turn out pretty well fundamentally, and perhaps things start to turn around, and we could see that surge in volume come back for Finger, like it happened with like it happened around middle of April into middle of May. Oh, so much love. I mean, can I get some of that too? I feel like I didn't get anything. Someone's in trouble, by the way. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Here we go again, man. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Chill out. Usually I fall asleep. Oh, okay, well. TPET, as of an hour ago, only has 25,000 short shares available. Short interest ratio has 0.17 days to cover, and short interest percentage of the float 8.78%. Then you got, with the cost to borrow actually spiking up from 159.35% to 170.63%. So perhaps, maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing a bit of a surge, probably. NFA, NTPET, Trio Petroleum Corporation. As you can see here on the daily chart, you see that it has found a bottom. It had spiked once before, and then it had a reverse stock split back in November 15 of 2024. Afterwards, it had a couple of spikes here, reaching as high as $4 a share. And then the last run here, climbing as much as $3.25 and then coming back down to as low as 79 cents on the 52-week low. And now, seeing volume coming back in, we could be seeing a lot more action on Trio. And being that it is a very micro cap stock,
at only $11.81 million in market cap. It's very tiny. And you have the shares float at 7.18 million shares. So if you think about it, and if crude oil were to explode into $80 and above, TPET could be one of those oil stocks that could eventually surge alongside and probably see these highs become tested again in the near future. Possibly somewhere between 240 and $3. That would be just a prediction there. Hopefully a spoiler. Oh, you guys, you gals are so cute. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. Feel the love, everybody. Feel the love. These hearts are for everybody. These hearts are for everybody. Thank you. Thank you for showing some love. Thank you. And thank you for being here as always. Fun and educational, exactly. Very fun and educational. You know? That's why I try to make it, I try to make it as educational as I can. Nothing crazy, and I'm not, however I can have people, fully informed and that, and learning something out of this and being able to take that information and then, for, anybody to, go on and do their own research and, and make smart decisions and great entries that would further benefit them and make a lot of money. That's all. That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, right? I would love for that to happen. I don't charge an arm and a leg either. I mean, you're getting all of this education, all of this information, and it's like, come on now. Come on. For real. But yeah, thank you for that. So I might gonna have to keep a close eye on TPET for a while and see how things go. I mean, overall, the trend ever since the conflict started between Israel and Iran with crude oil and then these other stocks, as you can see on the hourly, especially INDO. Oh my God, I feel like INDO. I just have this feeling. And INDO can just pop. It could just go wild and then hit somewhere around 6 and burst up, and all of a sudden it's at 7. Free NFA. You have people out there charging an arm and a leg for free NFAs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what sounds better to y'all, Yeah, I definitely have a minute. Maybe 30. Yeah, let's do it. Let's look into a new this bird. Let's look into a new ticker right here called SRC. Oh, wait, is this circle? Is this circle? Because yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is circle. Oh my God. This IPO'd in beginning of June. And I did post something on the Discord, on the Chat GPT Conversations NFA channel or category. What is it, channel? And I posted a conversation between me and ChatGPT in regards to the Genius Act and how Circle plays a big role into this. But yeah, look at this. I mean, from the IPO at $64, and how much it has grown and gone up. So from 64 to 245.50, and I think it's just madness, right? Um, so if you could read, this article here by Guru Focus 2 days ago, you could clearly see here Circle skyrocketing 53% after Senate passes landmark stablecoin bill. What's up, Mark? Welcome back. Now, shares of Circle surged 53% this week after the U.S. Senate passed the Genius Act, the first major federal legislation to regulate stablecoins. The bill outlines full reserve requirements, monthly audits, and anti-money laundering rules, providing long-awaited clarity to the $150 billion stablecoin market. The rally pushed Circle stock from $148 to $227 just weeks after its New York Stock Exchange debut, opening at $64 at the bid. Backed by rising momentum, Coinbase also gained 20% since Wednesday. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire called the bill's passage history in the making, praising it as a leap forward for U.S. competitiveness in digital finance. The Genius Act, now headed to the House, has been championed by President Donald Trump, who's pushed crypto-friendly policies, ended enforcement actions, and even launched a national Bitcoin reserve. With Washington warming up to crypto, major tech firms like Meta, Google, Airbnb, and X are said to be exploring stablecoin integration, fueling speculation that mainstream adoption may not be far off. Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. You are very whoa. Welcome. So, I figured maybe I can just read that part of the ChatGPT conversation. I will actually. Oh, it's already trading on the 24-hour market. Wow. It closed at $240.28, up 20%. With an initial 245.71 in the after hours. Now in the overnight, even though the markets did take a dip, futures, taking this to 220 on the mark, and then coming back up and consolidating, and afterwards here coming back on an uptrend higher than what it was before, to as high as $255 a share. I'm guessing that is the new all-time high for Circle, and it's coming back down here to 51.90. There are already options, which I didn't know as well. That's very fast. So there is an options chain for Circle, and you just imagine like the volume that's probably pouring in, and people are probably just trying to see if, because like based on Friday's close and the options statistics, there were more puts in total volume than in calls. We're talking about 418.97 thousand in puts and 358.81 thousand in calls. So either they're probably thinking that it's on the verge of selling back down because it's gone up so much ever since the IPO. And you can pretty much tell. I mean, like, it's, look at that. So at some point, and we don't know where, I mean, it could be, either somewhere around 260,
You take a look on the daily. I mean, it's pretty much overbought on the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, the 30 minute is just about to be overbought on the level, on the 80 level, and even the 5 minute is overbought. But will it continue? We do not know. We have to just try to figure. We have to figure that out. Ooh, look at that! If you're finding the stream, by the way, if you are finding the stream valuable and educational, please give it a like and subscribe to support Lion's channel. Your support helps him grow and continue bringing you great content. Thank you guys, love you, and I'm wishing you all the best for this week coming up. Yes, 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 yes. So let me just go and revisit that conversation, if you guys may. Um, and it's something. Well, I was curious about the Genius Act in general, and it gave me an overview. And so here's more information on it. And on top of that, if the Genius Act were to declare and be signed into law, it will officially become federal legislation. So that means, one, stablecoin regulation takes effect. So the act establishes the first federal regulatory framework for payment stablecoins, cryptocurrencies pegged to the US dollar, requiring eligible issuers to maintain a one-to-one reserves in US dollars or cash equivalent assets like treasury bills, and meet anti-money laundering, transparency, redemption, and auditing standards. Second, designated regulators and oversight. So issuers over $10 billion would be subject to federal oversight by regulators like the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, OCC, or the Federal Reserve, while smaller issuers could opt into state-supervised regimes vetted by Treasury. Number three, legal clarification and protections. The law explicitly removes certain term definition gaps by stating that payment stablecoins issued by compliant entities are not securities, offering legal certainty. It also prohibits Congress members, but notably not the President or the Vice President of the United States, from personally profiting from stablecoin issuance. They could not touch that whatsoever. It's like FINRA not being able to buy any stock because it would go against their rules and all of that stuff. And then broader economic significance. So the Genius Act could accelerate the use and institutional adoption of stablecoins in U.S. financial systems, potentially boosting demand for Treasury securities, which might lower government borrowing costs. So then what happens next? Number one would be the implementation phase. Remember, this is just speculation here, in which ChatGPT can make mistakes, so do your own research. So, implementation phase. The law becomes active either 120 days after statute or 18 months post-passage, whichever is sooner, depending on regulators' rulemaking timelines. Number two, regulatory tooling in place. So federal banking agencies will issue guidelines for reserve management, disclosure, AML, KYC, which is know your customer, compliance, and redemption processes. And number three, industry impact. So traditional banks, fintech firms, and retailers will gain confidence entering the stable coin market. It would provide a U.S.-centric path forward while granting compliant issuers a competitive edge over offshore alternatives. So, in summary, if President Trump signs it into law, the Genius Act will establish a federal rule book for stablecoins, require full asset backing and auditing, clarify that compliant stablecoins are not securities, impose oversight via federal or certified state regulators, and potentially enhance the legitimacy and stability of crypto payment systems in the US. So in short, his signature um, would mark the birth of the first robust federal stablecoin regime, significantly shaping the legal and financial landscape of digital currencies. Wow. So I asked if when when you would think when would you think this will come into play aside from the geopolitical events transpiring in the Middle East. Um, so it tells me, excellent question. Here's a realistic timeline of what factors, aside from geopolitics, would determine when the Genius Act stablecoin framework actually comes into play in the U.S. financial system. Um, so, so, okay. All right, so in short term, from 0 to 6 months post signing, the Genius Act includes a grace period, generally 120 days to 18 months, depending on the provision and agency involved. Regulatory agencies like the OCC, Federal Reserve, and Treasury will begin publishing frameworks for registration, licensing of issuers, one-to-one reserve auditing standards, redemption rights and disclosures, and AML KYC compliance rules. Midterm, from 6 to 12 months, first state chartered and federal bank backed stablecoin issuers. Matt, if you're still here, let me know if you're still here. As I get water because my throat is drying up, and so is my tongue. Where's Matt at? Oh, what happened to Matt? Matt! Matt. Matty boy. Matty boy, because this could this could be beneficial for Circle. Anyways, so again, midterm 6 to 12 months. The first state chartered and federal bank backed stablecoin issuers, for example, PayPal, Circle, which you see there on the chart, Circle, the stock, JP Morgan, begin officially operating under the Genius Act regulations. And then stablecoins, listen to this, all right? Again, this could happen. This is just speculation. Take this as such. Always do your own research. This is for educational, research, and entertainment purposes, not financial advice. But in regards to this, and in midterm between the 6 to 12 months, stablecoins that don't meet criteria may be delisted from U.S. exchanges or face enforcement. Now, the full effect from 12 to 18 months. The law would be fully in effect and becomes the official regulatory parameter for any U.S. dollar backed stablecoin. Non compliant issuers may be restricted from offering services in the U.S., and major banks and fintechs like Stripe or Apple Pay might start launching regulated stablecoin products. So, the catalysts that could accelerate this outside of the Middle East. Of course, we are already past the U.S. election certainty, but a full Trump administration could push rapid adoption of pro-crypto, pro-deregulation policies. The banking participation. So, if J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America announce Genius Act compliant stablecoin products, it would push mass adoption. U.S. Treasury and Fed guidance, so aggressive clarity on reserves, custody, and redemptions could fast track launches. Retail adoption via big tech, so Apple, Amazon, or PayPal embedding stablecoin rails into their systems could make the law immediately relevant. And then, last but not least, global stablecoin competition. So if the BRICS nations launches gold slash oil backed digital assets, the US could rush implementation to defend the dollar. All right. Now, geopolitical events, the Middle East context. While these don't directly delay the law's rollout, they could shift focus or accelerate demand. So if the price of oil surges, there could be stronger interest in dollar-backed digital assets like stablecoins for settling cross-border trade. Now, where do we hear that term before? Cross-border payments, cross-border trade, anything related to international transactions, any country. Who adopts this? What network would they use? What stablecoin would they actually use? What cryptocurrency? We've heard of a few. What could it be? And sanctions or de-dollarization threats might actually boost the Genius Act's importance as a digital defense of the dollar. So I'm just going to leave it at that. The rest will be in the conversation. I did post a link on the Discord if you want to read more. Unless you wanted me to read the whole thing. I'm just but I'm just wondering, what could happen. I mean, either Circle is peaking out at where it is right now, just under the new 52-week high of 255, or if it's actually going to continue to go up on another leg up. But what's interesting is that it had been on an uptrend since 2 days ago, but somehow the MACD has been on a bearish divergence. So that could result in a more bearish standpoint looking at this here, and perhaps maybe Circle begins to cool off and start to sell back down to then try to find an actual attractive value for the stock, so more institutions and more investors could possibly see it as an opportunity to get in at a decent price. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not too sure. That could be the scenario. We just have to see what happens. But if it breaks 255, I mean, that would lead to a lot more than what we expect, in my opinion. So we would have to see. Now, did something happen? I'm confused. Hmm. 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 Just trying to figure things out right now. Hmm. 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 But then again, what if Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market starts to come back down and once again break back below 100,000? I wonder that if that would actually bring down Circle for that case. That's another speculation there. So I wonder. Anyways, if you're looking into SPY, you can see that SPY is indeed trying to recover and the rest of the market. Here we're testing the VWAP here at 5. What is this? 592.80. It's come back down from 599 on Friday. It's a big drop. Mara Mara actually came down from 1433 in the after hours to as low as 1351. What a drop. Now there's a gap to be filled up there to back to 14. Only if um, only if Bitcoin decides to recover and go back up. If not, and if Bitcoin does continue with this downtrend that's been happening for some time here, ever since 110,000, then that might lead um, the Bitcoin miners like Mara, MicroStrategy, and others to come back down. Archer, I know Archer was mentioned earlier. Kind of got a little sidetracked right there. I wanted to read you guys about the Genius Act and what would it mean for stablecoins. Um, I do want to say that there is a lot more to this than what everybody thinks, and how it would actually affect altcoins versus stablecoins versus securities and commodities. So I pretty much asked, like, what will happen to all the altcoins that exist in the crypto market and which ones would stay. And ChatGPT thinks that that is $1 billion question. That the Genius Act signals the beginning of a massive filter for the entire crypto space. Excuse me. So the breakdown of that and what would happen if the altcoins that what will happen to the altcoins and which ones are most likely to survive and thrive under the new U.S. regulatory environment. And as you already know, the Genius Act, which is defined as payment stablecoins, clearly and excludes them from being securities. And altcoins, not considered stablecoins, will still fall under the SEC's radar unless classified as a commodity by the CFTC, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And many low liquidity or unregistered projects could be deemed unregistered securities and forced off the U.S. exchanges. It could be that they will be still trading in other exchanges but outside of the US. But anything in the US would most likely be delisted and removed. US exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and etc. will likely delist or restrict altcoins without clear legal status or compliant disclosures. And decentralized exchanges might see traffic rise temporarily, but will face pressure if front-end hosting services or developers are US based, which we just mentioned a few moments ago. Investors will move away from meme coins, low utility tokens, or chains with unclear documentation and funding. Projects with real world use cases, stable cash flow, and US compliant operations will win long term. The rest, I'm going to leave that for everyone to read on the Discord. I won't disclose any more information than what it needs to be read. That's all I could say. Not financial advice. Alright, so with that being said, looking quickly into Archer, as it also came back down alongside with the futures and the indexes coming down in the beginning here, and Archer going down to 970 and then coming back up to 980 to hold and consolidate, which seems to be, could be a good thing for it to be consolidating around this price range of maybe it's valued at $10 for now, and it could be climbing back up. In my opinion, I think there could be a potential for that, but then again, it would have to come back above 1030 to 1050 in order to hold a strong trend. But if it does continue here, especially on the 4-hour chart, as you see here, underneath that 200 day period EMA, and continue to sell off, especially if it all correlates with the market trends and conditions, it would then face more downside to where it could reach as low as $9 a share, like the last bottom here back in the beginning of June, and again here around the middle of May, where it also was ranging around the $9 level before it bounced back up. So wondering if that scenario could happen again for Archer. That's something we would have to really pay close attention to, and how this trend is playing out to be and coming to fruition. But for now, it looks a little bit bearish. But there is also a gap on the 4-hour, which is somewhere between 1152 to 1162. And if I go quickly onto the daily chart, there is a gap here that was placed here on this chart from 1061 to 1171. So yeah, definitely I'm seeing 11, but again, it would have to bounce back over that resistance at between 1030 and 1050. Not financial advice. So I wonder what happened to. Oh man, am I putting you guys to sleep with the voice, or is it the music? Like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? Like nobody's saying anything on the chat. What's going on? Is this stream working? Did I get closed down? What happened? I'm concerned. I'm concerned. All right, just looking back at crude oil futures right now, and it seems to be falling right below 75 or hanging at 75.
and natural gas staying at around 385, between 385 and 390. As you can see, natural gas has been climbing up recently here from 406. Remember, that was the last high. We do have silver here. Also recovering and crossing back over 36 an ounce, $36 an ounce. Wondering if silver could once again break out from here and try to retest somewhere above 36.50, which could be really, really cool. Delete all the inactive, yes. Oh, there you go. Okay. What's up, Michael Anthony? What you got for us? Can you look at Clove, or that ACI has upgrades from $22 to $26 a share? Then Wells Fargo upgraded to $27 a share. Then KR reported Friday mornings that ACI popped since ACI. Hold on, you got me a little confused here. Oh, that's cute. Got it. Rock at the baby on the treetop, window and blow the cradle big rock. I actually was thinking. I was actually thinking of just like honestly. Oh wow! I just lost 2 subs. That's sad. I was thinking of removing level 2, which was $4.99 before. $4.99 a month, which included everything in level 1 and including entry to the Discord. But I'm thinking of removing level 2 and just keeping level 1 and just bumping it up a bit to like $3.99 a month, and that's it. I'm not trying to charge an arm and a leg for anything, but if you want to, of course, show some love, show some support to the channel, and join the Discord, by all means, feel free to jump in. And I'm here just trying to revamp and rework the Discord too, so it won't be too messy, and you could probably try to work some type of a system in there as well. And yeah, so if anything, just hit me up. Hit me up on Discord at Line of All Trades, which is my username on Discord, and send a request, and then I'll give you a heads up. I'll give you a heads up on the updates on that. So once I bump it up to $3.99 for level 1 and remove level 2, that's all you need. Once you get membership, and you're in, and that's it. Got all these people like freaking charging an arm and a leg and an arm and a leg a month for, gosh, like I feel like there's this like information that I mean it's a lot of work, also to retain all of this information. But on top of that, I'm just giving my hypothetical TA and my predictions and what seems to be going on, in current events and what could be affected. I use ChatGPT. I'm not afraid to use ChatGPT for my analysis too. That's my buddy. That's my pet. And anything to be able to help you guys. And you, Nana, to help you make your own decisions based on that information to get in at a good trade and make a lot a mullah, mucho dinero. Okay, so yeah, definitely hit me up. Line of Old Trades. My username on Discord and send me a request and then I'll give you the heads up. I got you. And thank you. Much love. So let me read these comments here by Michael Anthony. I think you're using speech to text. Let's see. Let's go ahead and how do you say? Let's go ahead and I'm having brain farts right now. I'm trying to think of that word. Let's honor. I guess what we want to say. Let's honor that request, and we'll take a look at Clover, which we had looked at Clover before in the past. So if we look at the Discord, we had someone by the name of Preg who was on the stream before, and he is completely bullish, of course. I think we've been talking about Clover since last September, but also we know that the late Lou Bravo, Lou versus Wall Street, had brought Clove to everyone's attention. And of course, some positives, some negatives, and some bashing, because it was mainly supposed to be an in and out play, to be honest. And it did run a lot ever since he had mentioned Clove around that time. So if we take a look back at that moment on that chat, you see here you could sorry about that. Ouch. Okay. You can see here from the last run that it had back in 2021. Let's see, right here. This was back in so this actually happened. Surprisingly, it happened a week after AMC had reached up to $77 from that squeeze, remember? And the stock was at a low of like 652, and it went as high as 28.85. Maybe that was the foreshadowing that maybe that price would be Clover's value in the future. Maybe Lou had foretold the future about Clove, but maybe people just needed to have the patience to wait and get in at certain bottoms or accumulate throughout the next couple of years afterwards. And it did go at a low of let's see, what was the lowest price for Clove?
It says the 52-week low was 118, but it definitely went down below, and here it is. Clove hit a low, an all-time low of 60 cents. 60 cents before it actually climbed back up, gapped up here. And this was last year, towards the end of April into May, where it went from 60 cents and went on a huge uptrend all the way to the next couple of months. Look at this, and it just keeps going. And it keeps going. Then in August, the end of August here at 382, then coming back down to about 246, then climbing back up, and then keep going, keep going, keep going, all until it reached a high of 471, and then dropping here towards 295, then winter of 2024, then climbs up once again to reach an all-time high of not an all-time high, a 52-week high of 487. And then the whole cycle continues and starts off again, sells off, until now we see a potential bottom for Clover here at a low of 280. So maybe 275, 280, within that range. Maybe it's ready to face another bottom here, and then to turn back around. I mean, the MACD on the daily is showing a bullish signal right here, which means that it could start to go in another uptrend from here and see a bullish cycle and all that stuff. I mean, the RSI too, you're seeing a big bounce and recover and do all of that good stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, it went up there already. Literally after AMC had went on its second squeeze. It was the end of May into June 2nd. Then a week later, Clove goes on a run, and that was when Lou mentioned about the next play, and everybody was hype and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden Clove was the next squeeze play. But I think what was the miscommunication was that I don't think that he meant to make it seem like Clove was going to be another short squeeze and it would actually do the same thing as AMC and all that stuff, because there are two different plays, honestly, in two different sectors. And I feel like Clove has been more dominant here in the way it's trending. I mean, also the comeback from 60 cents. So, I mean, imagine that. 60 cents all the way to as high as almost $6. Not $6, I mean $5 at one point. And you take a look at the weekly. I mean, you can clearly see momentum here trying to climb back up on the MACD right here. So if you see this happening, you probably think that maybe this week coming up, we'll probably see some rebound and more momentum coming back to the upside. We take a look at the short interest on Fintel. It says here that the short interest ratio, you have 2.94 days to cover. Very little short interest percentage of the float at 5.20%. But so much, that's a lot of short shares available as of 2 days ago, and barely a percent in cost of borrow fees. So I want to say maybe Clove has a lot of institutions. We can take a look at the dilutiontracker.com, and not sponsored. And we can see if we have big dogs here involved and invested into Clove. That would be interesting. So let's see. Let's see. Let's see. What is going on? It's not coming up. There it goes. We haven't indexed this ticker yet. Wait, really? Why isn't it not going? Really? Clover? Why not Clover? That's interesting. It's not showing. I was trying to see if Dilution Tracker had that information, but I guess not. It's weird. I've never. I don't know. Cash flow statement? Maybe I can see it from here. Cash flow? Cash from operating activities? 155 million? No, wait. Oh, institutional owners. Uh, 26% institutional shares holding. Wait, let me see. There are a total of 255 total institutional owners into Clover. 248 of them are long only, and seven of them are both long and short. So yeah, so according to Fintel, they're reporting here in the basic stats for institutional ownership that there are a total of 255 institutional owners for Clover Investments, Clover Health Investments. 248 of them long, 0 short. Like they don't like, meaning there's no institutions that are only short, but there are 7 of them out of the 255 that are long and short. Change of 14.35% MRQ. Institutional value at 382,262, or is that 382 million? That must be $382,262,000 long. And as of well, obviously because this is not really updated, but the file date of November 12th of 2024 on 13G form showing Vanguard with the latest shares of 19,198. Damn, I can't talk. 19,198,714 shares, which puts them at 4.70% of ownership. The file date of May 30th of this year, Wilshire 5000 Index Fund Investment Class holds about 1,847 shares. USVM Victory Shares USAA MSCI USA Small Cap Value Momentum ETF holding at about 329,215 shares. Here looking at the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund Investors shares at 12,013,130 shares. You have the Vanguard Extended Market Index Fund Investor shares at 6,421,871 shares. You have Goldman Sachs here from the Form 13F and A showing that there was let's see, a total of 2,214,947 shares. Cube Research and Technologies Ltd. here with 4,325,709 shares. Morgan Stanley with 2,232,255 shares. Marsh Wallace LLP with 4,575,527 shares. Good lord. Millennium Management with 5,804,006 shares. That's a lot of numbers there. Susquehanna with over 2 million. Over 1.5 million, over 1 million, so that's like 5.5, maybe 6 million shares in total. So I'm just wondering, but I damn it, man, I wanted to see a dilution tracker.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, yeah, so alright. So all I had to do is just search on Google. So, companies' market caps. So as of March 2025, Clover Health Investments has, according to this website, at 0.16 billion USD. That's usually no. What does that mean? Hold on. So what is that? No. This makes sense. Let's see. So as of March, what website is this? As of March 31st, 2025, Clover Health had $155.4 million in cash and cash equivalents. First quarter of 2025, that's what they had reported. Total cash equivalents and investments, $391 million, and this includes both cash and cash equivalents and other investment securities. Cash on hand as of March 2025, it says here 0.16 billion, and at the end of 2024 they had about 194.5 million in cash and cash equivalents. How would you say this though? There's gotta be something on here in Fintel at least to show. Oh boy. So I did find something. All right. Um, thank you, baby. All right. So Michael, you ready? You ready for this? So, according to Simply Wall Street, as of June 22nd, 2025, Clover Health holds approximately 160.1 million in cash and equivalents. The debt position, multiple reputable sources show that Clover Health has zero debt. Simply Wall Street reports total debt of $0 and a debt to equity ratio of 0%. Guru Focus also confirms no short term or long term debt, a debt to asset ratio of 0.00. Reuters summary similarly lists total debt of $0 on the balance sheet. Bottom line, yes, Clove appears to have around 155 to 160 million dollars in cash. Yes, the company currently carries no debt. Wow. That has me intrigued. Wow, okay. I'm glad to see that from Clove. Very nice. After all of that and what they've been through, I'm surprised to say that yeah, I mean they seem like they're doing pretty well, especially during these times. In my opinion, of course, just seeing those stats and the information, Clover could be making its way back up. Fortunately, it does not trade in the overnight trading sessions. Um, but it has been seeing a lot more volume in calls than in puts as of Friday closing. And it shows that Clover um, had a total volume of 14.22K in calls and only just 2.05K in puts. So it could be that that Clover is seeing a bit more volume than usual. It was at $2.80 at the bottom after market opened on June 18th, and then seeing a high of $3.16 as of Friday at 10:15 in the morning. So, and it looks like it had been consolidating afterwards. Looks like a little inverse head and shoulders there. So, what are the options looking like right now? Let's see. I do see a lot of open interest there for the $3.50 strike calls for this week's expiration. But I like to look at the monthlies. Okay. There's a bit of a spread there between the bid and the ask here. The bid at 3 cents and the ask at 7 cents. Not much open interest there, but that could change this week, and we'll see if um, if Clover does get a lot more traction from retail and other institutions as a sign to go bullish on their sentiment. What about August 15? Let's see. Oh wow. So August 15, 2025 expiration date on this options chain, seeing a lot more open interest for the $4.50 calls at 12,914 with only 13 in volume, which is not much. But for the $3.50 calls, You have a 7,637 open interest and a volume of 203 um, in volume. A lot higher for the $6 strike calls, but you know, who knows like how much this can go up between now and August 15, since that's just 2 months away, or 54 days away for until expiration. In most cases, if people, investors do see this long term to go up to those price targets that you had just saw, Michael. Um, if yeah, and also in speculation, of course, in my opinion, if there is a lot more volume to come in general, in shares and in the option statistics, then that means that the sentiment is turning bullish, and it could mean that there is definitely more upside potential for the stock, as it does show here that it has been bouncing back up from that bottom at 280, but of course it does need to hold above 3 and then go for another bounce here to break over 310 and so forth. And you have the 200 EMA here at 325. So 325 needs to be broken for this week in order to see more upside for Clove, and for a potential for those $3.50 strike calls to be in the money. Oof. And who knows what would happen after that. But my thing is, seeing that 8,900,000 short shares available to borrow on the cost to borrow, or the Fintel information there that we saw. So I don't know if that, could suppress things a little bit more. I'm not too sure. But if, again, like that scenario plays out and a lot more investors in retail are leaning bullish, then this could see a possible healthier uptrend to new highs. I would like to see that news too, though. Let me see. Let's see what it says here. Trading View. This was as of 4 days ago. Corp officer sells shares. So relationship CEO, Medicare Advantage. Oh, the CEO of Medicare Advantage sells $58,487 worth of Clover, which equals to 20,450 shares of the Class A common stock on June 17. So she paper-handed. And let's see what else. On June 11th here by Reuters, Clover Corporation says unaudited NPAT for the first year, what was it? Expected to outperform market consensus by 20%. Is this the same? Oh, you see, they man, this is wrong. This is the wrong company. They need to fix that. They need to fix that. This was the only news in terms in regards to Clover Health Investments, was the officer, the CEO of Medicare Advantage, selling that much of shares. And that's it. In terms of price target from analysts, I can tell you here, technicals are saying sell, but the analyst rating does say at a buy. The forecasts showing 2 at a strong buy and 2 at a hold, but it's clearly pointing at a buy rating. The minimum
being at 375, the average at 469, and the max at $6 a share for Clover Investments. I was not able to see that news on that price target that you were mentioning, unless that was for ACI. Oh no, but if you can tell me, then I can definitely figure that out. Oh, you were talking about ACI, bro. Is that who you're talking about this whole time? I'm here thinking that was my misunderstanding. That I thought that you were talking about Clove. Clove's price target at 21. Where did you say here? Hold on. I thought you were talking about upgrades from 22 to $26 a share for Clove, but you had me confused because you mentioned both Clove and ACI at the same time. So I thought, okay. So ACI, Albertson Companies. It looks like they're part of Kroger's. Oh, that's the incorporated. That's in the corporation that is in charge of Kroger's. I've never seen this name before. I need to do some research here. Albertson Companies Inc. 413.70 million shares afloat. $24.68 billion in revenue. $12.48 billion in market cap. Has a dividend yield of 2.77%. All right, so um, Albertson Companies engages in the operation of food and drug retail stores. It offers grocery products, general merchandise, health and beauty care products, pharmacy, fuel, and other items and services. Company was founded by Joe Albertson, July 21st of 1939. Boise, Idaho. And so I guess they are. I think the merger was called off between KR and ACI. Okay. Right, cause Kroger, yeah, Kroger was whew. Kroger definitely has seen some substantial growth in the past year and a half, maybe almost 2 years. It was once upon a time here around a 42, $43 in 2023. Goodness gracious, look at it on the weekly chart. Wow. Look at this growth. I mean, I'm just starting to recognize this right now. This was once a back in 1989, this was like a barely even a dollar company. And look at the growth. Oh my god. That's nasty. But of course, I mean, like, you would have to be somewhat years old. Oh, there was a reverse split here, 2-1. Oh, that was a forward split. Oh, they had a forward split. Okay. Oh, never mind. So if it wasn't for that forward split, I guess Kroger would have been a $144, $145 company. Stock value for this. So I guess they issued more shares and did a forward split, and now it's back up to $72. Still growing.
a big spike on the daily also. Seems like there's earnings. There was earnings Friday, and it resulted in a big spike. Look at that. From as low as 64.70 to as high as 72.23. I wonder why. ACI does look like it's actually trying to move up further. I mean, let me check first how it looks like on if it trades. Oh, okay, it trades on the 24-hour markets. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. Okay, so ACI dropped to $19 from $21.78 in the after hours on Friday. Mind you, Kroger had earnings and it shot up. ACI, on the other hand, shot down as of 8 p.m. Eastern Time when the 24-hour markets opened up. Wow, is there any news on that? No? Nothing at all? Kroger shares surge as supermarket chain attracts weary customers. Wow. So Kroger gets the bump up, but ACI somehow gets the bump down. And yeah, you can see it right here. It was at 21.78 as soon as it opened at 8 p.m. earlier. Went from 20 to 1980, 1956, $19. Wow. And now you have all this gap here to fill. So there's some options here too. I wonder if it's one of those that just like drops down and then starts to recover and then find a fair value afterwards. Maybe they dropped it and probably trying to find a more attractive value to get in and buy the dip. Then to bring this back up to 20. Who knows? But yeah, who knows? But even so, I mean, look at the amounts of the sell orders here during aftermarket. I mean, that's crazy. Over 26,000 shares. Look at that, 208,288 shares dumped at $21.68 as of Friday aftermarket hours. 11,580, 25,400, 53,000. Wow, they were dumping heavy there. Shoot. Maybe it bumps back up. But we'll see what happens during pre-market hours because that's crazy. I never thought that was actually going to happen. Oh, shoot.
Where there goes Circle. Circle is actually selling off as we speak. Dang, man. If it could have just waited right there for like until tomorrow morning, that would have definitely been good for some puts. If it went on a sell-off, a major sell-off from here at this point, coming back down to like 230. Oh no. That would definitely be a good option to play, theoretically speaking. Not that, of course, not telling you guys to buy or sell, do any of that stuff. Mom interrupted me. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Close at 2040. At 2040 puts. 2040 puts. Damn, that's expensive. Oof. Oh no. That's a lot. Yikes. What about here? 240? Damn, that's a lot. 220? Nah. That's a lot of that's a lot. Dude, that's a lot for premiums, man. That's even more expensive than Tesla. Yep, especially with that amount. Nope. Circle. Let me just give you a rundown on Circle, real quick. I'm about to give a. I keep saying oh no because of the way that this is actually selling off on the 5-minute right now. It looks like it's wanting to sell down. It looks like it wants to come down. That's why I'm saying oh no, and that perhaps maybe puts would have been a very good would have been a good entry for puts to play on the downside. But the premiums are freaking expensive as hell, even for the Friday's expiration. Because if you look at it, look, you see a $240 put worth almost $2,700 for a contract. Nobody got money like that, except for the wealthier ones. Just saying. But it definitely looks like it wants to pull back really hard. Oh no! Oh my god! Oh no! Anyways, yeah, I'm not too sure what the situation is gonna be. Oh, it's 12 o'clock and midnight. Okay, oh shoot. Anyways, circle. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After climbing up so much, after its IPO at an open of $64 and going up as high as 255, I mean, why wouldn't you want to take profits? Why wouldn't you want to get out at the top and start, selling off from here? Theoretically, that's what usually happens. after IPOs are listed. You know, they bid it, the price, they buy the ask, they bring it up, they go, they they jack up the price as high as it gets, and then all of a sudden they find that it's overvalued and it's ready to take profit. I mean, like, you've made a substantial amount from 64 at the open to 255. That's a big gain. Why not just make your money, secure the bag, and just get out, and then wait for an attractive value until it comes back down. Either it goes back down to 155 in the future, 150 in the future, or maybe 100 in the future, or maybe it just continues to sell off even way below 64 later down the road, maybe next year. That's just my guess, though. I really want to know exactly like what would happen, but that's just from my experience and what I've seen from IPOs. Like, usually it would just result in a big sell-off after it reaches a peak. Like Newsmax, for example, right? You had Newsmax, which IPO'd, and it freaking exploded. Freaking exploded here at the open of $14, and went as high as $265 a share. Like, hello, like, why wouldn't you want to get out at that price afterwards? Like, dude, that's like, how many percentage in gains that is? People did the smart thing and got up at the top before the value started to come back down. And look where it's at now. From 265. I mean, not 260. Was it two? Yeah, from $265 to a low of $11.82. Because now they find that $11.82 or $12 a share is an attractive value for the stock to be theoretically bought, and then now to then go into the bullish cycle, or I don't know, to be able to perform and to grow from here and come back to the uptrend, to the upside. That's something that could happen, in my opinion. This could eventually pop back up too and break over 14, because Newsmax is pretty strong. It's a pretty strong network so far. A big following. A lot of people watch that. So you figure, you think to yourself, well, you know what? Like, it seems like more and more volume is coming in again now that it's at an attractive value. Right, Zelly? Look at you, just giggling. The emoji. So cute. So yeah, I would like to think that that Newsmax would have an opportunity now to see some more upside. Now that it's found a bottom and it's found that attractive value for institutions or retail, whoever, to get in. And see here, June 12th, Newsmax says streaming service Newsmax Plus is available on Comcast devices. So this could just be the beginning. Now that you're seeing devices and other streaming services streaming Newsmax Plus, offering subscriptions and all this stuff, I mean, that could be a bullish indicator for the company to continue to move up from here. So it was said on that day that the streaming service via subscription app
Newsmax Plus is now available on Comcast's devices in the US, such as Xfinity X1, Xfinity Flex, Xumo Streambox, and Xumo TV. Newsmax Plus is offered with a free trial and retails for $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year, the company said. Newsmax Plus service includes the Newsmax channel live feed, Newsmax 2, the free streaming channel, Newsmax in Espanol, and the military history channel World at War, the company said. So imagine that. Not sponsored, by the way. Just doing research. And what I think is possible for the stock. So again, my prediction, and for the start of maybe or more upside in the near future, maybe down the road, maybe in a couple of weeks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Love and energy. Hey, hey, sun is face bright. You know what? I think I should leave it on that note. I should just leave it on that note, right? And let me just check real quick. SPY is at 592.60. Here, facing a resistance here, right below the V, well, below the, that is the 21 MA, I think. 592.60 facing resistance. It could very well come back down if more tensions arise, if more fears of a World War III probably breaks out. I don't know. Which could happen. Man, I really hope not, but we'll see what happens to that. Bitcoin here, as we see, also doing the same thing, is looking like it's losing strength. It could very well also trend back down unless something changes. We do see a bullish crossover between the 50 and the 200 moving averages. So it's usually a bullish indicator there, but you know, anything can change between now and then later. Mara, which moves with Bitcoin, here saw a big drop from 14 and change all the way to 1350, looking like it also wants to consolidate, if not face the same fate as the market. Somehow Lucid here trying to hold at 217, maybe trying to go break and go for 220 again. It has been very barcode-ish in my opinion. When it's barcoding like that a lot, maybe it's the calm before a big storm of catalysts, maybe, I don't know. The more I feel like crude oil rises up and the pumps get more expensive, I mean, the more that people theoretically want to get into EVs. I don't know, just speculating here. I mean, imagine if all hell breaks loose and the war gets worse, the Strait of Hormuz gets attacked, the flow is disrupted, not a lot of vessels can pass through and deliver the crude oil, production gets halted, I don't know, and crude oil just spikes out of nowhere, and then we just look to see that EV is now, you know, going back up. That's just my brain is just marinating ideas, right? Imagination. It's just my imagination, all right? You know, take it with a grain of salt. Archer needs to hold above 10. GME is down.
and it came down from 23.49 to 22.69 in the overnight trading session, consolidating and trying to fight and hold back above 23. But it's currently at 22.93. Again, this could be affected by the overall market trends and sentiment and all of that, and it could come back down if the market comes down. We've seen it many times. It's not just the shorts, it's market related. Also AMC here. AMC still at $3. Barcoding. Barcoding just like Lucid. Very similar. And a gap here facing 298 to 3, which could be another week of barcoding and just staying within that range, unless market conditions affect the performance of the stock, in my opinion. Cooler, ticker symbol KULR, suspended because now it's about to implement a reverse stock split come Monday pre-market open. And as you can see here, look at that. Look at that. It was at 84 cents. Mind you, it was at 84 cents at the bottom on Friday. And now that the reverse stock split is implemented, I believe it was a 1 for 15. Was it? Let me just... What was the split? I believe it was a 1 for 15, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, you know what? Tip rank sucks. Sucks for that. I'll just go to Google. Oh, so it's a 1 for 8 split. So now the value of Cooler is at around $6.71. I think that's where it jumped up. Let me see if it... Oh, shoot. So, 84 cents times 8? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, 84 cents times 8 shares being converted into 1 is now the value of Cooler is at $6.71 at open pre-market. So we'll start trading from there and see if it tanks back down, and the rest is history from there. All right, so I think that will be it for the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying tuned in to the Lion's Den and being a part of the stream. I appreciate it very much. It's always a pleasure. And hoping that this information, all this information has served you well and has helped in any type of way, and that you further do more research, and based on your decision, just know that you are your own decision maker of your money and your investments. As long as you're managing your risks, you're making smart decisions, and you're making your money, that's all that matters. And just know that anything and everything that was said in the stream is strictly in my opinion, and that this was all not financial advice.
So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining the stream here on the Lines Den. That includes Mark, peace, love, happiness, health, and wealth. Hope you enjoyed the game and all the information here in the Lines Den. And for being here, Moistly, aka Singular Turtlet. Nana, thank you for being here. You probably fell asleep with my voice. Wishing you sweet dreams, and hopefully you have a great night and the best of luck this week. Wishing everybody here good luck trading this week in the markets, and that hopefully SQQQ. Since Nana mentioned about it, it's definitely gonna be up for sure. So just a quick FYI, SQQQ currently at $23.06. All right, but there is a gap down back to 22.80. So again, based on what the markets do, hopefully it's a big week if the markets do continue to trend down, and the VIX and SQQQ, anything that trades against the market trend, goes up for y'all. So best of luck. Two-wheel pursuits. Manifest. Hopefully everything does turn around for Wolf. And we're gonna continue to monitor Wolf in that case. Also, thanks to Matt for the support. Big JR just popped in and out, but much love to you. And Singular Turtlet. Fishy. Shout out to Fishy. Shout out to TP. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Kai Supreme. Shout out to Chris with a K. Shout out to a whole bunch of other peeps. Surprise Texture. And James Price. Shout out to you. Michael Anthony, thank you for being here and for the information. Always appreciate it. Good luck to you. And last but not least, the one and only Zelly Zen, the queen of the Lion's Den. That rhymes. Much love to you. Love you. Take care of yourself. Best of luck to you if you're getting into any plays this week. And again, thank you all for joining the stream tonight in the Lion's Den with yours truly, Line of Old Trades. Wishing you all peace, love, health, and wealth. And y'all have a good night. Take care. Peace out. Lion signing out. Speaking of Kai, look at Kai Supreme, El Gran Supremo. I didn't even know you was in here, bro. But if you were sticking around and doing your thing and listening into all these information, man, thank you. And thank you for staying tuned in. Much love to you, and I wish you the best too this week. Kai Supreme. Flame on, brother, and I'll be streaming. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning. So yeah, shout out to you. And again, everybody else, thank you. And peace out.